Welcome guys to the TeaTime Friday Night League with DXD. I am Gary, aka Ferret, from the LFR League's commentating team. So we're here for the coverage of this race today. Started the stream a little bit early just so we can get things started and we can get into it a lot quicker. We are waiting still for one driver waiting. So just one moment while I post up the link to our chat. And I can see already that we have a viewer. Hello viewer. Just drop us a message, say who you are, let us know what you're thinking, who you're supporting or who you are, and we'll get right into it. And then once the qualifying starts, we'll introduce you to the teams, and we'll introduce you to some drivers, also the track, and let you know a little bit more. So here we go. We got Jerome. So Jerome was on Formula streams. Ari the race guy, whoop whoop. Alright lads, good luck from Matthew Green and Matty Bot. So let's go peeps. So yeah, we are at the time now. We are so close to starting this race really. So we've got a few more people. So Flea, hi everybody. Hi Flea. We've got an echo in slightly. Is that sorted out? I think it's because I left my phone on loud. I hope that sorts it out. Yeah, that's better. Thank you very much, Masterbot. Yeah, what it was is I had my video feed on my phone, so it caused a bit of an echo. I do apologise. So just waiting for one more driver. I do believe we have a full grid tonight. Oh. Just waiting for GFO Vazdel to connect. So let me just jump onto the Discord so I can go through the drivers and their teams. So for Alfa Romeo we've got Frenzy and You Never Walk Alone Matty. In the AlphaTauri we've got DXD Anthony and DXD Hobo. In the Ferrari we have Leo Synth Droid, sorry. With Young Lights we have Matty Bot and Freedom in the Haas, Kingsholm and Flea in the McLaren, Brooksy and Percy in the Mercedes. We've got DXT Nevo and Veloce in the Racing Points. We have Antim and El Stefano in the Red Bull. We have Amir and Pure Blades in the Renault, and in the Williams we have Ari and Dark Stomper. So some very good teams out there. So jump back onto the feed and see. So Young Lights needs an invite. If someone can do that quickly before we go into qualifying. So as we're just waiting for this to happen. And Santi, hi Flea, sent you a message on PSN, so Flea, check your PSN messages. Santi sent you a message. So as we know, this is the first round of the TeaTime Friday Night League. It's starting here in Australia, which is it's like the pedestal for F1 really. It's just where it usually starts. A lot of testing's done here, and I think a lot of drivers do gauge their ability on this circuit because it is always the first one on a regular calendar. It is a Marmite track. A lot of people, they either love it or they hate it. There's not really much people in the middle ground that go, oh yeah, I can, but you tend to do quite well if you love it. If you hate it, then you're always spinning out turn 12, which I can't expect that quite a lot. Imagine starting at Austria. If I started at Austria, Ari, I think I'd quit the commentary. I think Austria is just like everybody's go-to circuit because it's the quickest regular circuit in this on the calendar, and it's just, yeah, it's a hard track for qualifying. Australia is a hard track for qualifying. It is one of those tracks where you've got to push to the limit, but you've got to understand where the limit is. Austria, are you going on a fun track, fun circuit out? Australia is a hard track. Yeah, Australia is a hard track. Austria, it is a fun circuit. You can get a lot of speed. It's like Australia as well. It is dedicated to getting a nice line. You've got to get a perfect line through many of the corners for that. So I do agree with you. It is a fun circuit, especially driving on it. I prefer driving in Austria than actually commentating personally. As for Australia, it's the other way around. I prefer commentating because it's always interesting. Seeing how people handle turn 5, it's almost like the way Wall of Champions that corner, and then you've got turn 12, which people do tend to overcook and send the car backwards, really, uphill. So while we're waiting for the qualifying to start, I'm just going to throw out some facts about Albert Park Circuit. So the circuit is 3.2 miles. It has 16 corners, which is 10 to the right and 6 to the left. It is it's actually classed as a street circuit because it is actually open to the public 9 months of the year. The only part that's not open to the public is between turn 5 and turn 6. That is not actually an open area. That's actually quite closed, and I'm not too sure the reason why. But if you're trying to drive around, I think it's closed off to vehicles rather than public. But if you're trying to drive around, you've got to come out of the park, go around a few streets, and then come back in up at turn 6. So there's a little bit of facts there for you. The circuit itself has got many corners that are actually named after former racing champions or key races throughout F1 history. The only corners that does is basically excluded from that is turn 5, turn 6, turn 7 and turn 12. Turn 7 and 12 don't have a name, so I've named them myself. Turn 6 is called Marine because it's actually it's the closest to the docks in Melbourne, and turn 5 is called Whitford because that is a V8 driver. Whitford is. But you'll and turn 3 as well, that's called Sports Centre. But I'll go through the turn names as we go around on one of the outlaps. So it is short qualifying, so it's 18 minutes for the drivers to get their best times. They can go out as many times as they want during this, so it's not like the full qualifying where you go out in Q1, Q2, Q3. So it's quite important for the drivers to actually put in a good time and keep at that time. Just keep pushing and pushing and pushing. Although it is advantageous to those drivers who like to sit back and wait. Matty Botkin, I'm going to do awful here. Don't say that, Matty. You've done quite well. You have got Hobo on comms, so he can't force you to spin out. And Light Zeno, good luck all. Thank you, Mr. Light Zeno. I'm not too sure who he is. Just drop a message to let me know what your PSN is so I know who you are. Don't crash at turn 12, lol. Yes, Flea with great advice. He's had personal experience at turn 12. Alright guys, I'm feeling a little bit pessimistic here about yous. Come on, let's keep up the good high positive, optimistic view of the circuit. You're going to do fantastic here. So we are on qualifying starters. We've opened it up. Let's see who's the first driver out, and what I'll do is will jump on board of them to actually give you a full look at what a lap looks like here at Australia. So just wait, you know, this is where everybody's saying picking at the right tyres. They're looking at the weather, seeing what the weather forecast will be for the race tomorrow, because that's what you've got to focus on. So if it's going to be a wet race, you want to put a wet setup, so like higher downforce to push through the water. We do have a car out, and I believe it might be a Williams. Yes, and it's Dog Stomper. I am on board the Dog Stomper. Alright, so Dog Stomper, I am going to go through a fast lap with him. So it's a wet race. Yeah, so wet race. Oh, thanks very much for that comment. Let me know. So yeah, this is probably why people are taking a little bit longer to actually get out, because they realise when it's a wet race, we've got to work this out. So we're going to go there. What setup are we going to use? If they've got their own setup, they'll be putting a little bit increased downforce from what they do normally. Whereas, so it's a medium tyres going out there for Dog Stomper. But if the weather is, if it's going to start wet, it doesn't really matter what tyre you put on. So let's throw on the details for tyres, because so he's one of a couple of people that actually has got the medium tyre on at the moment. So Percy and Brooksy both got medium tyres on as well. So depending on whether it's going to start raining or whether it's going to rain in the race, then that's, you've got to kind of measure that. But a soft tyre should be the option if it's going to start on a wet race. But then a medium tyre, you can actually use that to gauge where you should be. So here we go. So Dog Stomper warming up those tyres, ready for a fast lap, giving his best opportunity for this. So here we go. I'll get my list of corners ready so you can take the corner. So here we go, Dog Stomper as he powers through. Let's bring up the time up there as well. So here we go to turn 1, which is called Jones, onto the left hander of Brabham, down onto like the Alty straight into the Sports Centre. Sports Centre is actually not close to the Sports Centre, because that's the building right in front of you on the left here. So then it goes around Helios, up into Whitford around the corner, up into Marine, right round into what I call Hunt, and out onto turn 8, which is Lauder. And from Lauder go straight, go a nice little straight here onto Clark and into Fittipaldi. This now here is called Lakeside Drive. This is the longest sweeping straight, really. It's the longest part of the track that's not the home straight. Now into turn 11, which is Wade, onto Rind, which is another corner I've actually made up, into the hill straight. This hill straight is actually named after Damon Hill, not Graham Hill. Onto the most commonly named corner, which is Ascari, down into a fellow jock Stewart, into the probably the best two rivalry corners in the world, which is Senna, and then on to Prost here at turn 16. So a nice little fast time there, lap from Dog Stomper. Let's see what he does at the end. And over the line with a 1:21.0, a fantastic time there to start with. Let's see what other spring outs. And we've got Freedom on a 1:21.1, another good lap. The fact that Dog Stomper did that on a medium tyre, means he could take off 7 tenths really to get for that time. And we've got Matty Bott on a 1:21.7 and DXT Nevo on a 1:21.9. Let's jump on with Young Lights now. Young Lights in the Ferrari. He's purple sectored, sector 1. So which means he has already put in a good time, especially sector 1 is the hardest sector, because there's a lot of corners and G-force sways the car a bit left and right. So it's quite important that they do well on that. So you've got a whole race is raining, so that means you are thinking about the wet setup. This means that your turn 12 is not going to be as hard when you've got a lot of downforce, because you can cut the corner of it. And he's, unfortunately, Young Lights there has invalidated that lap, which means he's going to go around again, and that effort he put into sector 1 has gone out the window. So now until oh, we got some new drivers on there. So we got, like, let's go Ari with 121.2, Matty with a 121.4, Percy with 121.2. So the times are very, very close indeed. Percy and Doc Stomp are both on medium tyres, and they're sitting in the top 3 currently. And we've got 122.0 for Leo. So that's within a second of first place, which is fantastic to see. Let's see, we've got Hobo coming around. Let's see where Hobo hits it. Hobo takes provisional pole with a 121.0 on the soft tyres. So maybe Doc Stomper might need to switch over to soft tyres to see what he can pull off there. Fantastic time by DXD Hobo. Hobo is my co-commentator on a Monday, so I will support him. And I will also support DXD Hobo off the track. I think that is more to give the other drivers a clear view of the turns without getting. It's very, very smart play, a very, very small sportsmanship. I would not say it was a mistake. I would just say that was purposely done to allow drivers to get past. And let's have a look. We've got to run through the time. So we've got Herbo 121.0, Doc Stomper 121.0, Freedom 121.1, Percy 122.2 on the mediums, Ari on 121.2. You never walk alone, Matty, the famous Mancunian there, on a 121.4, Veloz on a 121.6, Matty Bot on 121.7, Nevo on a 121.9, Leo on a 122.0, coming into the pits, Flea on a 122.1, and Brooksy on a 124.0. I'm not too sure whether Brooksy there came up by pulled away on that lap, because it is a bit of time difference, but then again he is on the medium tyres, so we've still got tyres on. Let's see, a GFO Vazdel is coming round now, so he's coming round. Stewart there onto Senna, nice and tidy. Let's see how he does through Prost. Fantastic. As he moves around there, opens up the DRS and hammers home. Let's see what the time he puts on, and that's a 121.4, a very competitive time there. He is 4 thousandths in front of You Never Walk Alone Matty. Matty, I forgot to check this weather and put our dry setup on, so I'm screwed for the race. Oh, that's unfortunate. I can't really comment. It all depends what your setup is originally anyway there, Matty. If you've gone for something around a setup 3 on your custom, then maybe you can like work with it, and it depends how wet the rain is as well. If it's light rain and you're only on intermediates, you won't feel much of a difference, but if it's heavy rain, then you might have to adjust your wings once you get into your first pit. So we've got a new driver who's actually put in a new time. Let's have a look. Well, Doc Stomper has put in a faster time on those mediums. So he's putting 3 laps on those mediums and got 121.0 on the medium tyres. So Percy now on the soft tyre. I'm sure that he'll be able to put in a really fast time with this. So it's a custom setups, not one of those, one of the defaults. So yeah, he's got 3.6 wings and 3.4 ride height. Yeah, that's quite low down really for a wet race. You did need a little bit more clearance, but then you can change your wings, so you might be able to bring it back a little bit. But it's at least it's not like complete high pace. Like if you were going to Monza, then you would be screwed even more so, because trying to go through Ascari and Monza is not good at all. And Young Lights goes for the fastest lap there with a 119.6. That is like a massive difference there. Let's see if Percy can match that or beat it. Let's see. So Percy did show he's got some pace there with the medium tyres. Let's see how it's soft tyres, because soft tyres is better for the circuit. Obviously everybody wants more grip. Yeah, Matt, yeah, true. You can only change the front wing. Yeah, just increase the downforce. That's where you need to. That's where you need the downforce anyway. Is that front wing for the corners? And Percy with a purple sector 1. El Stefano with a 122.6 puts himself there in 15th. Amir on a 121.8. It's quite a competitive time. A lot of drivers in that 121s area. A few drivers just slightly out. Obviously Brooksy will be putting out a fast soft tyre lap in a moment. I'm just very keen to see how... Oh, Percy invalidates that lap on that corner there. Comes too hot for Stewart. So I think that's back in the pits. Fresh soft tyres ready for another chance. And that was unfortunate there for Percy, who looked like he was on a fast lap. Freedom puts in a time of 1:20.3, so he is closing in on Young Lights. Still got a bit to go there. I think Young Lights' ability is so very superior right now, but we have got drivers who are able to compete with that. A lot of drivers in the pit, a lot of drivers out on fast laps. We've got DXT Anthony, who's out on the fast lap. He hasn't set a time yet. Let's jump on board with him as we flick down. He's purple sector 1 and 2 by the looks of it. So DXT Anthony could be quite competitive in the AlphaTauri. So anybody listening in, just let us know how you're feeling about the circuit. What's your favourite corner? Where do you see you get the most battles, and who your biggest rival will be? Obviously, this new season, it's going to be take a few weeks to work out where the championship rivalries will be. But some drivers will have personal grudges that they want to settle. DXT Anthony, let's say 121.0, so puts himself there with his teammate DXT Hobo. There is 19 thousandths between the two drivers, so AlphaTauri are looking quite strong there in 4th and 5th provisionally. We've got 6 minutes left on the clock here for qualifying. We have Frenzy and Antim still yet to put a time. Brooksy needing to put a fast time in here. So Antim has invalidated that lap. We've got Frenzy needs to put in a get out of the pits soon, as Brooksy has invalidated that lap. So another warm-up lap maybe for Brooksy. Kingsholm with a 121.9. He is a little bit faster than his teammate Flea, who's actually currently on an out lap. I just want Baku. Oh, so he wants Baku after Monday's race on Baku. I can understand. Baku is one of those circuits I loved commentating on Baku, but see me driving out, I'll cry my eyes out. So here we go. Let's see if any drivers can make any difference there. We're looking at for Percy. Percy is back on an outlet. Fast lap. Let's have a look at Percy at the moment, because Percy is the driver I do believe could be the one to challenge Young Lights. Purple sector 1, so that's an improvement. He's improved on the time that he had to when he had invalidated his lap at Stewart. So it goes nicely around 10-10 and comes on to the lakeside, and drivers moving out of the way, which is fantastic to see. I think it was a Red Bull that moved out of the way there, but regardless what car it was, it's fantastic to see these drivers getting out of the way and allowing people to put a fast lap in without any hazards. So Percy with the 21 Mercedes. Frenzy has retired from the session. And here we go. Let's see if it makes any difference. It's a 119.6. He just takes it. He takes it by 16 thousandths. That is like a microscopic. So Anthony is the current champion. So DXD Anthony is the current champion of the league. Thank you very much for the update there, DXD. But he's on PS5 and don't like the controller. Well, he's on a PS5, so screw you, Anthony. I'm joking. Yeah, I think that I love the fact that the PS5 has allowed cross generation play on these kind of games, which is fantastic. So he doesn't like the controller whatsoever, so I completely get it. IO at the moment currently driving on a controller, which is it is not what you want. Let's see who's out on the fast laps. We've got Ario on the fast lap. Let's see who's any. He's got a 121.2. Let's run through. Veloce is invalidated that lap, so I think he's charging his battery up there. He's got a bit of space behind him, but he can't hamper. Anyway, he's gone into the pits there. 2 minutes. People got 2 minutes now to either get out of the pit and do a fast lap, or basically just putting another lap in if they can. It's quite important that they get as much time on the track as possible. Use all those tyres you can, really, because you don't have to use them in a race. And Leo is in the pits. I don't know whether people are going to have enough time to get in the pit, change up to a new fresh set of tops, and I think I'm going to call it at that point now. If you're not out of the pits now, you're not going to be able to put a second fast lap. So let's have a look. So we can see that Brooksy is out. That's Brooksy with 124.0, and Tim has put 124.5 and is in the pits. So I don't think they'll be able to do El Stefano on an out lap. So these may get they've got plenty of time to get round the circuit. Flea's in the pit, so he won't be improving. Kingsholm is out on an out lap. He has got time to get round. Amir is at the back of the train. It is going to be quite close for Amir if he's going to cross that line in time. Matty Bot on an out lap. Oh, let's see, we just seen someone jump, and it was Brooksy with 120.6. Fantastic time there by Brooksy. He's put on a set of soft tyres, and he has massively improved. He's taken over 4 seconds off his time and popped himself into 5th provisionally. There we go. We are getting to the last few seconds now. Let's see who is on the back of that train. So Dark Stomper is going to be the last person here to put in a qualifying time. Whole second off your personal best there, Mr. Light Zeno. Problem is, I can't say who Mr. Light Zeno is because I don't know what his PSN is. But he's devastated that he's not been able to put a fast time in. So Dark Stomper has put a fast lap of 119.3, taking pole. Oh, so he's Young Lights. Young Lights are second off his personal best. So how? I should have guessed out like Zeno, Young Lights. That's an amazing time. 118.6 is a fantastic time. Well, look, I'll be honest, I'm quite glad that you're actually not as fast, because it makes it more competitive for our other drivers. So at the moment we've got Dark Stomper in first, Percy in second, we've got Young Lights in third, Freedom in fourth, Brooksy in fifth, DXD Hobo in sixth, Ari the Race Guy in seventh, DXD Anthony in eighth, Vazdel in ninth, we have Amir in 10th, you never walk on Matty in 11th, DXD Nevo in 12th, we've got Kingsholm in 13th, Veloce in 14th, Matty Bot in 15th, we've got Leo in 16th, Flea in 17th, El Stefano in 18th, and Tim in 19th, and Frenzy in 20th, who never been able to put a time in. So the time difference It's 5.1 seconds from top to bottom. First 3 drivers are within 0.3 of a second, so that's very close between the 3 drivers at the front there. Fourth is off by a second, but after that, between 4th and 11th, that is 1 whole second there. So that is the end of qualifying. I was 5 tenths up on that last lap and lost it out of turn 12. In the race non-stop. I'm loving the comments, guys. Let's see, I'm going to jump into have a little look at the instance. Let's see, exceeding track limits, that's going to be a big thing for penalty. Speeding in the pit lane, oh, just because qualifying ladder just gives you a warning, that is no reason to exploit it, gents. Come on, you're better than that. Frenzy didn't retire, he actually DNF'd with terminal damage. I wonder what happened there, maybe turn 12 incident. It's quite easy for that to happen. So Matty Bott, who retired, did actually retire because of turn 12. So here we go, and it's heavy rain. So Matty Bott, I feel sorry for you. Not Lee Walker, not bad for no man. Right, Lee, let me know what's your PSN, mate. I'm Lee, by the way. All right, fair enough. Thank you very much. So Lee Walker, Lee, not bad for no man. Well, how old are you, Lee? Come on, let's just share the numbers. I would have been pushing us to squeeze into top 10. Matty Bott with trying to push into top 10. I think you could have got the pace there, Matty. I really would do. But here we go. Albert Park in the rain. Turn 12 is going to be a disaster. It's going to be an absolute sitting duck here. I think with the way dry setup in the rain, yeah, that is possible. I'll be better with a boat. Leave it. Say it's 30. You're 38. There's a driver on another league. Oh, it's a warm. Oh, sorry, I've just panicked there, but it is just a formation lap. 38's not old, Lee. It's not old at all. I'm 32, and I still feel like I'm a lot younger. I say to myself, I'm 21 with 11 years experience. So you're 21 with 17 years experience. Just put it that way, you'll stay young forever. So the formation lap is the most vital lap, especially in the wet, because you do have to heat those tyres up. So it is picking the right moments to warm those tyres up. Suggestion for drivers who are listening: in the wet, to warm your tyres up most efficiently, keep them tight. Keep the tight wiggles in. Okay, it is predicted for a 2-stop or 1-stop or 2-stop race. Obviously, all on the wet with wet all the way through the race. But you might find that if the rain gets light and the racing line starts to clear up a little bit, you might find someone slip into a set of intermediates just to really get them that bit of pace. But that all depends on what the weather's like. I'd be better with a boat. I'm so sorry. When I'm reading, it says one thing in my head and my mouth says something different. I do apologise. Yes, it looks absolutely drenched there. Last time I seen rain that bad, it was flooding. It looks ridiculously wet out there. I don't envy you at all. I do love Albert Park. I think it's fantastic, especially when it's dry. But in the wet, it's no good for me. So here we go. We are at the point now where we are headed in to where the grid formations, and we've got Percy, who's actually being disqualified from the formation lap. So luckily he might have had time there to warm up his tyres, but he is. There you go, you can see the naughty boy there sitting on the grid. And as we're waiting for all the drivers to come in, Frenzy at the back.
It's good to see these drivers did not exploit the formation glitch. The formation lap glitch is that the driver at the back can slow right down. So by the time he gets there, all the other drivers' tyres have actually cooled down a bit. It gives them a little bit more grip. Can we now survive Australia? Yeah. I reckon, Matty, I honestly do think he's done it. And that's 5 red lights. Can hear the engines going. They're out and away we go, gents. And we've got Brooksy with a drive-through penalty for a jump start. Oh, Brooksy. If he's using the controller, I can understand that, because it's like it's just a slip of the finger and your finger's off the clutch and you're off. So here we go. A yellow flag in sector 1. Have we got anybody? Ari. It looks like he's spun out. It's quite easy to spin out in the rain. Has he got any damage? I don't think he has. I'm just walking. No, his front wing looks intact, so I think that might have just been a natural spin. And here we go, right, as normal, we got the usual Cone Masters screw up here, where they're just shuffling everybody up and down, throw it onto lap 2 already instead of lap 1. And Vazdal has left the session, so Vazdal car has gone AI. I don't know whether that is a game glitch or he's just left, but I'm sure it's just one of those things where it's a game glitch. I would invite him back, but I don't want to be coming off the street at all. And obviously we've got a few drivers out. Let's have a look. DXD Anthony is looking to be making a move as he closes in on Percy. So these times are Young Lights spun out and he has reset it back to track. I'm not too sure, I'll be honest. Because I'm still new to this league, I'm not too sure about the whole reset to track business. It looks like there's a bit of bump and grind, and as Young Lights goes into the pits, I think that might be a connection issue, because it did look like Flea was a little bit going through him, so maybe it was a little connection issue, but it looks okay with everybody surviving the first lap so far. A few drivers, so Brooksy serving his drive-through penalty there. We've got Hobo, Vazdal and Young Lights all in the pits, probably getting a new set of front tyre, front wing on. Stupid driver, he had a drive-through. Okay, so I think that might be an issue between Percy and Brooksy there regarding that 10-14 spin. Oh, sorry, 10-13 spin. So I remember the names, I don't remember the numbers well. And here we go, let's see as Percy is looking to make moves on Freedom. They're coming up to 10, 12, 11, sorry, and 12. 10, 12 being that brutal corner there. You put too much on that grass and you're spinning. You've spent a 118 heading backwards into that opposite wall. And a great move by Percy. Takes the inside there at Ascari. And they're battling wheel to wheel. But Frida has managed to hold off that place. And it's invited there DXD Anthony in for a bit of a chance there as well. So this is like, oh! And Freedom goes wide and he allows both cars to go through. So that's Percy up a place. DXD Anthony up a place. And Amir is also battling in there. Amir is up into 4th. A fantastic 3-place switch there. Freedom dropping 3 places there. And as the Codemasters does, the usual gunfire, and we're losing times. We are on lap 3. This would be the moment where the stewards will go, oh yeah, here you go, I'll give you DRS, but not when it's raining. Imagine what it would be like if you tried to have DRS in the rain and then try and stop. It wouldn't work very well, would it? So Freedom is looking to be making that place back from Amir. He is 4 tenths behind. It's quite unfortunate and go wide there at Senna. But here we go, as I'm just scanning down to see we do have Flea and Kingzone. Now the 2 McLaren drivers here. are battling hard. They do love a bit of competition between each other, but they are quite respectful at the same time as well. The McLarens can do well together. They work hard. They might be able to make that difference up to the You Never Walk Alone Matty. And I'm going to jump onto Amir, because Amir is closing in onto DXT Anthony. And no, DXT Anthony is the current champion. He's on the PS5, which could make him a smug get. But then he is on a controller, because a lot of wheels are not compatible with the PS5. And we've got a safety car. And let me see, what was the reason for the safety car? I'm not too sure. No one's out. So this is an opportunity for some drivers to get a quick pit. If this was a normal race, a normal dry race, this would be where the soft tyre holders would jump in now and save a pit stop. But we are going to jump onto Dark Stomper as he sets out with the safety car. A few drivers are jumping in the pits, so we've got Freedom, Veloce and Amir all jumping into the pits. Does mean that the shift down. I'm not too sure whether the pit stop will be necessary for a wet race right now. But then we also got Ari and Frenzy jumping in the pits. So we got someone that just left the session. I don't know exactly what happened there or who he was. I'm sorry. As we are waiting for the safety car to come, safety car to gather all the drivers up together. So we're looking at 3 laps of the safety car. So our viewers out there, could you let us know what you're thinking? Safety cars coming out now at lap 4 with no driver out, which is fantastic to see. I think it was Leo. Leo had an issue there, and he is now sitting last with 23 seconds to make up. Luckily with the safety car out, he has got plenty of time to do that, and say 14 seconds behind Brooksy, which will be coming down quite quickly. Let's have a look, see. Five-second penalty for Brooksy. I believe that might have been for speed in the pit lane. So this is the boring part of the race, where everything starts to slow down. It's a perfect chance for people to actually then look at the current standings and see how people are. Now, a lot of drivers still will need to pit at some point, but with a wet race, it's not actually mandatory. A mandatory pit goes out the window of a wet race. So if you can make those tyres last all 29 laps, make them last all 29 laps. But really, you're looking at lap 14 to lap 18 to pit for a one-stop race. You want your first tyre to go the longest it can, really, in a wet race. You want to push it, because it gives you the best opportunity at the end when you really need to be making those places back up. Obviously, with a wet race in Australia, there could be more than one safety car. So Australia Grand Prix has been the opening Grand Prix for a very long time. Obviously last year the Grand Prix did not start in Australia due to the coronavirus, and again this year it looks like it's going to be the same as well, with it being postponed, but yet still not be given a confirmation as when it's going to be happening. But luckily this year we do have the return of circuits such as Canada. We've got Zandvoort still registered on there, unfortunately, with the calendar for 121. We're not going to be going to Hanoi. So Matty Bott has now got light green front wing damage on top of the dry setup. And we've got a couple of drivers have left. Another driver, Velocis, has left the session. I'm not too sure exactly why that is, but we'll put it down to a system error or technical difficulty for that. That would just mean that when the safety car restarts, that car will be a little bit slower. It gives opportunities for other drivers to jump up. And Matty Bott is gone into the pit now for a fresh front wing. So thanks for the update there, Matty. You see a lot of leaves there flying across the cars. It's fantastic to see some of these cars. They are fantastic to watch. Now, I am focused on Brooksy at the moment because he is actually in enough in the middle of the pack, so you can see a lot of the drivers and how close they really are. If we go up, we've got DXT Anthony. DXT Anthony, the current champion. So last season I think he comfortably won it, I would say. So it wasn't like it was like down to the last race, but he was quite consistent throughout the season, if I remember rightly. And safety car should be hopefully it'll be coming in this lap, because we don't like a safety car out for too long. Let's see. Go jump on with Dark Stomper, going the wrong way. Safety car is in on this lap, so Matty Bott's got the best of this lap to catch up. Hopefully be able to do that. And Velocis back in. Oh, thank goodness Velocis back in. Means that we won't have a slow driver in the mist. So this is the prime moment now. The Dark Stomper has got him. I've seen Percy do fantastic with the safety car restart. So it's all about Dark Stomper's timing. Pit's crew screwed me over and put inters on. I'm not too sure if that's a bad thing, you know. The circuit actually looks like it's got a racing line on it. It's a little bit dry, and here we go as we cross it over the final. So Percy actually puts himself side by side just behind Dark Stomper, unable to make the move happen at the at turn 1. But Percy is going to be on top of him. Matty Bott with a 5-second penalty for speed in the pit lane. He jumps in the pit to rectify and gets himself a 5-second penalty. That's just all you need, Matty. Can't blame me. I've not actually jumped on yet. Jumped on your car camera today, so don't blame me. I think Hober might have a second camera on you. So that little jinx does it all the time. But all these drivers are quite close, and I am glued at the front battle. But let's jump down here, because it looks like Amir, Brooksy, and El Stefano are like touching distance of each other. But I think this might be a Codemasters problem here, because that looks a bit more than 0.03 of a second between them drivers. So Neva and Young Lights have switched over. Young Lights making all the effort he can to get back up. Got front wing damage again because I had no grip. Oh my goodness, it's just like it's just like a long sad story for Matty Bott there. I do apologise for jumping up there. I had to read the comments because my phone has died on me, so I'm going to just wing it now if anybody goes. And Dark Stomper with a 137.8, and that is 20 seconds off a very fast time. So it's like 18 seconds off the pace that we were actually expecting for a race around Australia without the rain. And Tim with a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. I warned you guys at the beginning, don't take advantage of the speed in the pit lane. It shouldn't be happening in qualifying. It should never, definitely never happen in a race. Come on, sort yourselves out, guys. That is 3 people with 5-second penalties at the moment. Hopefully we don't have any more. We've got Amir in 7th, Young Lights in 8th, so they have made moves up. Neva is out. And we've got virtual safety car. How did Neva go out? Right, so this is turn 5 by the looks of it. So what's probably happened there is that it's come around turn 5 a little bit too hot. Couldn't control the car, had understeer and just went into the wall. Under my observation, let's jump on with Matty Bot, who will be first car on the scene since. I know the car has been cleaned up, so there wasn't no few there. And the worst thing about a virtual safety car over a safety car, it doesn't budge the pack up. All it does is slow down, and then we're back. Matty Bot's been under virtual safety car. Oh my goodness, it is just getting bad from bad to worse there for Matty Bot. I've got no words for you, Matty. I'm sorry, you're bringing it on yourself this time. You can't say someone's jinxing you. And here we go. We haven't got as many battles. We've got Hobo, who actually looks like he could be making a move on El Stefano. But Veloce is also there. Veloce is actually so close to Hobo at the moment. Let's see if Veloce can actually make any moves. And it looks like Brooksy is actually a lap down from everybody else. Yellow flag in sector 1, and that's been cleared up. Yellow flag in sector 1 and 2. I think that's just a slow driver, or maybe a little bit of collision with the wall. And there's a yellow flag on every sector so far. And Matty Bot is back in the pit. Oh, Matty boy. It's a yellow flag all the way around the circle without a safety car or virtual safety car. It's quite impressive. And that's all been cleaned up. So let's have a look, see where the battles are. So Amir is, Flea is close to King's Home. We've got Amir that's close to it, and then Young Lights is still fighting his way through. You know, Young Lights in the Ferrari there. He is like half a second behind Amir, but it keeps fluctuating. Dog Stomp with a new fast time of 1:37.7. I'm actually quite amazed. Young Lights, I'm expecting a fantastic battle through the pack here, and if he does so, the recovery drive would, in my eyes, be worthy of driver of the day. But obviously, with penalties and the fact that he actually did start off up in the top 3, would make that a bit questionable. If he should deserve it, but then again, sometimes it happens. But the recovery drive usually is something that does get unrecognised by the Codemaster system. And here we go, we've got Frenzy, who's just dropped places with Ari. Ari's managed to capitalise on a mistake that Frenzy's made, and Ari is actually pushing against El Stefano, and the rain is still pouring down. It is a heavy wet race. We've got we're on the 10th lap, so we've still basically got 2/3 of the race to go, and action is packed up. We've only got one driver who's out so far. Young Light is still looking to make a move on Amir, but Amir is also trying to make a move on Flea. So this Amir's got past Flea. Has Flea got it back? Oh, it's a wheel-to-wheel battle, and Amir has kind of forced Flea to make a mistake. So Flea won't put himself a bit too far over on turn 12. Could have caused an accident, but didn't. Got himself out of the way. 3-second time penalty for Hobo for multiple warnings that it will be track limits. And we have a yellow flag on all sectors, and it's back again. The Dog Stomper keeps going faster and faster every lap, so that's fantastic to see. Young Lights is looking for a move on Amir is looking for a move on King's Home. So Amir is actually quite quick here. He's actually doing really well, but Young Lights is still keeping them there close range. And King's Home is actually put a very good defensive move, covered the inside line so they can't get a dive bomb on him. He's put himself in that right position, but it looked, that is a very, very brilliant side by side there. A little wiggle of Amir. Amir slips out. Oh, and he collects Flea on the way. And a quick reset to track there from me is putting back in. And Flea turns the car around nicely and puts himself back in at a safe time. It's fantastic there from Flea. That's another driver who's reset to track. That is something I will be speaking to the admin about, whether that's right or wrong, with 2 drivers doing that. So me and Young Lights. Freedom now looking to make a move on Kingsholm. So these drivers here have made up motions. Freedom, Veloce have jumped Amir, and Flea being jumped by Hobo, Bazdel, Stefano, Ari and Frenzy, and Leo as well. So Leo is actually pushing himself here. He's doing quite well for an old guy. 38's not old, Lee. I'm just telling you straight up, it's really not old, because please, I'm only 6 years younger than you and I don't want to feel old. And Kingsholm makes a mistake, and Freedom makes the best of that opportunity and takes him nicely round. Freedom as one of those drivers who can compete at the top, has had an unfortunate moment in the qualifying where he's out of the top 3. A little clip off the back wheel there has sent a part of the McLaren's wing off. Let me see if that's... yeah, so a little touch of this. A little touch from Veloce. I think that's just a small amount of a little tapping. I don't think there's anything malicious. I think it's just coming a little bit too hard. The brakes not working efficiently in the wet. But Veloce is looking to make the best of this opportunity with Kingsholm with a damaged wing. The Kingsholm will be thinking now about pitting anyway. He could come in now, get his wire, stop out of the done with a fresh set of tyres. Let's have a look and see how many. So he hasn't made a stop yet. Neither has Doc Stomper, Percy, Dixie Anthony or Mike Massey. El Stefano and Brooksy still haven't made a stop yet. So Brooksy is a whole lap down. He still hasn't made a stop. Drive-through penalty. Yes, that was one of them. One of the reasons why. Let's drop that off. Let's position change. Let's have a look. So Doc Stomp and Percy in 1 and 2 as they started. Dixie Anthony's up 5 places into 3rd. You never walk alone. Matty up 7. Young Lights is down 2, so he's only 2 places away from getting back to where he was with a new fastest lap of a 1:37.4. Fantastic lap there from Young Lights. Freedom, who's looking to battle his way back into 4th if he can. Veloce is up 7 places. Amir up 2. Herbert down 3. Rosdell down 1. El Stefano up 7. Frenzy up 8. Frenzy is having a fantastic race. Started from 20th and has worked his way through. Kingsholm is dropping down. He's dropped down into 14th. Leo is up 3 places in 13th. Ari, the race guy, is down 8 places. I'm not too sure what happened there. Flea is up 1 place, but he was sitting there in the top 10 earlier and has come down due to an unfortunate little collection from sorry, I'll do whatever the name's Amir. So, but Fleet is battling through, and Tim is up 2 places. Matty Bot's down 3, and Brooks is down 14 with a few errors, I would say. So everybody on wet tyres apart from Ari, the race guy, who's gone back. I think he's gone back into the pits, or is he in the pits now? Let's jump onto Ari. Let's find out if he's on. Whether this is. He's a driver that you're going to have to watch now, because he is the one on a different tyre. Is this the right tyre to be driving with now? Young Lights with 1:37.1, so he is making all the steps in the right direction, Young Lights. He is now in 4th. He is 1 place away from getting back into 3rd. He's 2.5 seconds up behind Dixie Anthony. It is amazing to see, and we can see that Matty has come into the pit, so he's timed his pitting roughly about halfway. So this is a 1-stop race for Matty. Obviously, Doc Stomp and Percy, Dixie Anthony still haven't pitted yet. Let's see how he handles in the intermediates around 10, 11 and 12. So he is slowing down a lot more. He looks like he is suffering a little bit of oversteer. But he is actually catching up. He's actually catching up with Antin. Alright, he has to slow down there. Let's see how he does with these last two corners. And we've got a safety car. I'm not too sure what the safety car is for because no one's gone out. Dark Stomper's coming into the pits. Is Percy going to come into the pits as well? So I know Percy's probably hitting his delta. He is coming in the pits. DXT Anthony is also in the pits. So Young Light's also in the pits. Let's see how Freedom does. Will Freedom jump in the pits? And Vasdal with a severe collision with Brooksy. I think there might be something wrong with the whole Brooksy thing. With a 3-second penalty for the multiple warnings. Okay, I've just left this on for a second because I'm. So that's just showed me with Brooksy coming out of the pits, but it showed me earlier that he was out on the home straight. Right, that's very bizarre. Right, I'm going to jump off that. I'm going to leave Matty to Brooksy to do his race bit. So another city. Oh, Young Lights is actually on intermediates. And that is unfortunate. Safety car comes. Safety car is going around again. I do feel sorry for our drivers out there now because the safety cars do slow down this race a lot, and a lot of the viewers may disagree with the fact that safety cars are an essential part because it really does slow down the race. But then again, it can make a race interesting. It does bring the pack back together. Then for those drivers who are a little bit slower off, might get a chance to make a surprise overtake. But it's like DXT Anthony is running the pack because I have no idea what's happened to Dark Stomper. Dark Stomper. I think Dark Stomper's gone back. It went back in for a set of intermediates because he was well and truly ahead of the lead, and now he's sitting behind Flea. Drivers are packing up, waiting for Brooksy to catch up by the looks of it. Is it Brooksy? No, it's not Brooksy. It was Antim. Brooksy's in the middle of the pack. Matty Bot. And Ari to catch up. Is the intermediate tyres the tyre to go on? That is the question that I'm asking. We are on lap 16. We are halfway through our race. Velocis has joined back up again. That's fantastic. Just have a look into the Discord for any comments. So we are expecting the safety car to come in on this next lap, and we can get back in. So we are just waiting for our drivers to catch up, and Tim, Matty Bot, because I think Ari has managed to get caught up. It does feel like it could be a long race today because of the safety cars, and the chances are we may have another one come through again. Here we go, we're waiting to find out whether the safety car is going to come in. Safety car is in the next lap, so we are back in racing at the end of this lap. As this time DXT Anthony has the opportunity to bunch the pack up. Bear with me while I just jump back in into our stream to see if there's any what more comments there are. Brooksy is in P13. It's just I thought that was the case. So Brooksy is in P13. I personally won't see Brooksy's results until maybe until the end. So thank you, Womp Squad, wherever you may be. Womp Squad. It's quite insane. And here we go, as DXT Anthony has made a massive gap on Percy. Fantastic effort on the restart. And there's yellow flags all the way around, so no overtaking. Ari has retired from the race. I'm not too sure what happened there. Can't even, so I'm with Brooksy. What I'm going to do is going to try and work out exactly where Brooksy is, referring to the driver in front and behind. So if he's in 13th at the moment, he is in front of Flea. But he's not in front of Flea, he's actually in front of Dark Stomper and behind Veloce, so he's actually in P12. Oh no, he's got moved up into P11. So Frenzy's going to have to look, watch out behind him. No, I don't even know who I'm on board with here. This is... Let me have a look and see if we can... Here we go. Oh! And Hobo spun out, has damaged his front wing. Not too sure whether someone collected him there. I think Young Lights has dropped down as well. As Young Lights good. That was unfortunate. So Herbert is down in 17th now, or 18th. With the updated information that I've got from Womp Squad. Overdid it in the final corner. He's put the intermediates on and thinking that he might have got to fit a bit faster lap, which he could have, and unfortunately might have hit a wet patch there, I reckon, and overcooked the car around that corner and hit the wall. It's unfortunate. It's a full circuit. Full circuit yellow flag, and DXT Hobo is in the pit for a new fresh wing and intermediate tyres. So the intermediate tyres are making a show now. This might be the opportunity for drivers such as Matty Bot, could actually be a bit more advantageous than before. With the track, if the track is showing a drier racing line, it's easy to get going. But then with safety cars coming in, it does make it a lot harder to keep the racing line dry. And track evolution does help the dry racing setup as well, because track evolution gives a better, much more grip. And Flea with a 5-second penalty for ignoring the yellow flag. So that is news to me. Let's see where Brooksy is. Brooksy is behind the Williams of Dark Stomper, I believe. Yeah, because Dark Stomper has got past Frenzy, and looks like Frenzy could be about to get taken, but oh no, Frenzy's overtook Dark Stomper, and this is a nice freeway battle here. So we've got Brooksy, Frenzy and Dark Stomper all battling out for 9th, 10th and 11th. Oh, Frenzy overcooks it through turn 4 and hits the inside barrier. That's unfortunate to see, but that does promote Dark Stomper into 9th and Brooksy into 10th. So Brooksy now in 10th, not 19th on my screen. And yellow flags are still around the whole circuit for some reason, again. I think that is just me. I think it's glitching for me for some reason. The Codemasters has had a recent influx of problems, a few bugs that I wouldn't say haven't fixed, more like have just developed more so recently. And DXT Anthony are pushing through onto lap 21. We have 9 laps left to go. 9 laps of Australia, and only 2 drivers out. A lot better than what I expected it. So here we go. I think there's a little reset here because there's no times, but I do love this overshot view of the DXT Anthony's line. You can see exactly where he is as he's pushing onto hill. He's coming round. Oh, sorry, that was Main. He's actually now coming around turn 8, which is louder, onto Clark. Absolutely fantastic view. I don't want it to change because it absolutely looks fantastic. It will change. It always changes when it goes up here. Here we go. Typical. When I'm just really enjoying that light feed. He's now around coming up to 10-11, which is wait round to Rind onto Hill Straight. Comes up to a sky. I don't even know why it's called Hill Straight, really, because it's not really a straight. It's got a bit of a kink. Now comes down into Stewart. Stewart now went around nicely, does it. I'm still waiting for times to pop up for a lot of our drivers, which is really bugging me at the moment. So there we have it. Amir is 1 second behind. Never walk alone. Matty has got Young Lights right behind. So Young Lights looks like he's going to be a big group. Percy's down at 5th. Wonder what happened there, because Percy was sitting in second out for a long time. Freedom in 6th. Kingshow in 7th. El Stefano in 8th. We have Dark Stomper now in 8th. El Stefano is in 9th with Brooksy closing in behind. Leo is off the pace at the moment. He has got 15 seconds to make up to catch up with El Stefano and Brooksy. I think Brooksy's just waiting for the opportunity to take over El Stefano without much effort. A battle between Young Lights and Matty here. I think Young Lights has got Magic past him earlier, so now Young Lights, you never walk alone. Matty is looking to get back. So race is starting to come into the final closing stages, and Matty Bott has retired from the session. I wonder what happened to Matty Bott. Oh, front wing off. I'm not too sure what happened there. I'm sure we'll get an update from him very, very shortly. He's got two full he got two front yellows. Can't pass the two in front of me. Oh. So Matty Bott is now DNF'd. A place where it was actually, I wouldn't say it's difficult to DNF, I think it's more like unusual. So safety car is out. This is a chance for a lot of drivers to jump in the pits if they believe they need to. So like I can see that Percy is actually on intermediates. I'll get that message off Matty in a bit. Do have a lot of comments coming through, and so I'll be reading them in a moment, gents, because the safety car is now in. It is quite important. Let's actually just jump on and let's see what the comments are saying. So I'm Percy. Oh, one squad is Percy. I just got a 3-second penalty when going in the pit lane. Oh. Okay, Young Lights with a bit of explicit. Nearly always leaves it there. Too much power around that kink and lost it. It's louder for you. Matty Brooksy. Oh, right. I'm not too sure what happened there. Alright, so full yellows was the comment. 2 full yellows was a comment that I made. It was actually 2 full yellows, as in 2 full yellow flags. So here we go. We've got safety car. Safety car should be in soon, I should hope, because we do want as many laps as we can. So it'll come in. If it comes in now, so we'll have 5 fast laps left of the race. But we do have drivers still scattered at the back, and only 3 drivers out. So we're just waiting for safety car to come in. So if people can remember back way before the hybrid era, way before back into the turbo era, when drivers were getting a bit bored of the old qualifying setup, Australia hosted a new format which lasted the whole one race. It was one of those times, it was a knockout phase where they gave you a time to you get a time limit as to how long you got to beat the time to get yourself out of the knockout zone. So the drivers will get put out, they've got told to go out at certain times, and if they can beat that time, they survived. If they can't, they're out. So then it'll come down to like a final showdown at the end. It was different, but not. It was entertaining as a individual feature, but I would never ever think about using it as a qualifying setup. Bit tough on those drivers who just make a small mistake where they don't get a chance to doesn't get a decent chance to make another fast lap, really, unfortunately. So then that was scrapped. So another lap of safety car. So Australia does get used quite a lot for multiple racing, such as the V8 Supercar series, which is the Australia's version of the British touring cars. Fantastic series. Cars are quite quick, but they look fantastic as well. So a little bit more features about the circuit, really. People are calling for F1 to also go to Adelaide. Now Adelaide is a fantastic circuit. It is another street circuit, but I would hold back from that because Adelaide itself is one of those. It's too wide on most of it for a F1 race, because F1 it needs to have tight parts, and Adelaide does not have that. So Melbourne, I would say, is one of those. It's the most ideal circuit for F1 in Australia. So we are hoping that once this car goes down Lakeside Drive here, we might be able to see that we can start racing again, as we are on lap 25 now, which will give us 4 fast laps and a DXT Hobo severe collision with Brooksy. I've just seen another one. Let's safety car is in on this lap. That qualifying they tried reminds me of the old arcade games. The last, yes, exactly. That is exactly. That's exactly what it was, Massey. So yeah, that was it was general, like, and it is like a game. It's like the way Outrun used to be played, so you got a time limit, and we do have a lot of severe penalties for collisions. So drivers are getting collisions left, right, and centre. I'm not too sure what I think it's like a mix of like different the weather, different tyres, people having to slow down. So let's as a come in, DXT Anthony puts on the pedal. Doesn't make as much difference as it did last time. Amir is still with him, but Freedom has been left behind. So Amir and DXT Anthony has gone out, and we've got 4 fast laps of driving left to go. So this is where drivers will need to be putting in the effort. Are the intermediate tyres the tyres to be on right now? Because the mix of the tyre strategies does make this much more interesting. Front 3 drivers have decided not to pit in before, so you have walk alone Matty with a strong set of wet tyres, and a person with a strong set of intermediates could be the drivers to watch right now. So I'm going to be sitting on with Percy at the moment, because at this current moment that is where the battle is, because Percy is looking to make a move on Matty and on the inside of Clark, but this will give Matty Fittipaldi's the ideal position for Fittipaldi. So Percy's had to drop out a bit, but that's just kind of opened the door for Young Lights. Young Lights is right behind Percy. This could see a 3-car battle right now as they come around turn 11 onto turn 12. Anybody on top view here is absolutely fantastic, and Matty's made absolute massive strides there. I think the superior grip of the wet tyre is actually helping him there, and Percy goes wide a little, opens the door for Young Lights. Young Lights is and Percy wheel to wheel around Stewart. As it goes, it's a little bit touch and go there. Both drivers pushing each other a little bit, wheel to wheel banging. Hopefully no severe damage, because that would be unfortunate for both any of the drivers really. And Percy is he's managed to push his way back in front of Young Lights, but Young Lights is not going to give up. As these two are battling him, You Never Walk Alone Matty is getting further and further away. Oh no! Young Lights spun out and has reset it to track again. It does say Young Lights has left the session. But it does look like Dark Stomper has got front wing damage after colliding with a resetting Young Lights. And Amir is closing in on DXT Anthony. The front battle for front here is getting hot. And Amir on the outside of 10-11, unable to make the move happen. But always pushing. These two drivers are so close to each other. Around the outside, Amir makes it happen. He goes through. Fantastic overtake on the outside of Ascari. I'm not too sure if DXT Anthony has got it in him right now to give an answer back. But this does give DXT Anthony the toe down the home straight. I don't think I wanted that view. I'm not too sure what's going on with my Brooksy there. I've tried to jump on the camera to see where he is. He was near Dark Stomper when I last seen him, but we'll leave that. We've got speed in the pit lane for Vazdal. So these penalties are going to be making a massive difference. So You Never Walk Alone just has to be within seconds of freedom to be taking third. Percy also with a penalty needs to be making strides, and Herbert with another 3-second penalty. Young Lights in the pits now for a fresh front wing. Vazdal also in the pits. Vazdal was speeding in the pits. I think Young Lights is actually AI at the moment. As we're looking through, we're just seeing where the next battles are, because we've got 1.5 laps left. Let's have a look. We have just over a lap left to go, so we are on the penultimate lap. So this is where the battles are. So Frenzy is looking to be getting past. Oh, he does. He gets past the DXT Hobo. DXT Hobo is carrying severe wing damage. He's got a whole lap to do to go through with that. Is he going to go for another? Is he going to stay out? Because it will affect him severely if he goes in or stays out. Because it's either way, he's got to weigh up the difference, whether it's worth to stay out or go back or go into the pits. And DXT Hobo has decided to stay out as we go around the final lap. He has stayed up because he knows he could lose it to Flea. All he has to do now is just hold it together. Percy looking to make a move on Veloce. Nicely does. Well, Veloce and Percy both get past Dark Stomper. So they've got 2.5 seconds together. Percy needs to be making these moves back up. Unfortunately for Percy, he has to drop that. He has dropped down the pecking order. So we've got Amir in first, followed by DXT Anthony, Freedom in third. You Never Walk Alone Matty in fourth, King's Home in fifth. We've got Veloce in sixth. Percy now takes 6 off Veloce. So Veloce is in 7th, Dark Stomper. In 8th, Leo. In 9th, we've got Frenzy in 10th, DXT Hobo in 11th, Fleet in 12th. El Stefano in 13th and Tim in 14th. Jeffo Vasdal in 15th, Young Lights in 16th, and Brooksy says in 17th, but we don't know exactly for sure where he is. And it looks like Kingsholm has actually made the move. Oh, I think, oh, that's the end of the race. So Amir first, DXT Anthony in second, You Never Walk Alone Matty in third, Kingsholm in fourth, Freedom is in fifth with the penalties. Dog Stomper in sixth, Percy in seventh, Leo in eighth, Frenzy in ninth, Veloce in 10th. Veloce has dropped down to 9th. Flea is now in 10th. Veloce in 11th. DXT Hobo in 12th. In 13th, sorry. El Stefano is in 12th. As we're waiting for the final drivers to come through. Brooks, I'm out of the race, mate. Oh, thanks very much for letting us know, Brooksy. I completely get that. I went on to the thing and I didn't know exactly what happened, so because it was so glitchy for myself, Brooksy. I do apologise for the viewers on that. But it looks like that's the roundup of the race. And because of the glitch, we will be sitting here for 1 minute 34 seconds as that rounds up. That has been, I would say, an interesting race there from top to bottom. A few little spin outs. I'm not too sure what the damage rating was on, whether it was on reduced, full, or simulation. I don't think it was on simulation because a lot of crashes were forgiving that I've seen. Resetting to track from some drivers that has threw me for 6. Amir being one of them and Young Lights being another. So it's quite... It was quite new for that. So let's have a look and see the comments as the time runs down. Let's see if I can quickly get the comments up. Because my just switched my phone on while it's on like 2%. There we go. Full comments. Let's have a look. Awful track in the wet. Just had to keep on the track. Made a few positions though. To be honest, Lee, you did fantastic, mate. One of my drivers of the day in my eyes. Absolutely fantastic. So that's the end of race driver today, saying Frenzy. Honourable mentions to Leo as well for the fantastic position climb he made. Drivers such as Young Lights falling down the pecking order, unfortunately. So that is the end of the race. So far, Amir's got first, DXT Anthony in second, and Freedom in third. It was a fantastic race. Unfortunately for some drivers that we did think that was going to be battling at the front throughout the race, which was Young Lights, Percy and Dark Stomper. But fantastic race at all. Kingsholm, fantastic drive, starting in 13th, finished in 4th. So Leo started in 16th, up into 8th. Frenzy started in 20th, up to 9th. So fantastic, those 3 drivers I just mentioned there. Fantastic. A lot of these were down to penalties though, so Flea managed to get the final points position because of penalties for Veloce, El Stefano and Hobo. So Flea must be happy there, getting some points from McLaren. Biggest winners there. Let's have a look. Alfa Romeo with both cars in the points, and McLaren with both cars in the points. So big points for them. But Renault taking the top spot with AlphaTauri right behind us. Fantastic to see. And that's the end of the TeaTime DXD Friday Night League. It's Australia.
look forward to next week. I will be honest, I can't remember the race. I can't get the details up. I do apologise. But we will see you at the same time, same place. You'll be watching us. It will be with myself, and hopefully I might have a co-commentator. But I must say good night to all, and I'll see you on next week.